the hive mind and the consensus reality cult. The brain is reading fields we haven't identified yet. The brain can rewire itself over a period of time for the purpose of extracting value from its environment. Information has geometry, and this geometry is expressed in the field. Our material reality is an interface where intimate disclosure and shared experience causes entanglement. The universe began in a minimally entangled state, and entropy is increasing entanglement or mixing, sharing of the information. When all of the information has been mixed, shared, then the distinctions disappear. We are moving from a minimally entangled, ordered state to a maximally complex state, and finally to a maximally entangled, random state. In terms of meaning or value, this is a bell-shaped curve that peaks in the center. All of the value is in this complex middle state. The reason we have a consensus reality is because consciousness becomes entangled by your connection to others. Our perception of reality is affected by this entanglement. The more information shared between individuals, the more entangled. This entanglement is a shared geometry where space and time are irrelevant. Behaviors exist in a hierarchy, or fractal scaling of event horizons. Everything inside the horizon that is shared information is in more than one place. There is a holographic feature to the information. If you think of the hierarchy as a geometry, we begin to see an image emerge that is constructed from the information. This image is a Fourier transform of the information, and the resolution of the image depends on the particular level in the hierarchy in space and time being more fine-grained as you zoom out and more time passes. This entanglement or mixing of information has a nonlinear dynamic. The most valuable aspect of this dynamic is criticality at the edge of chaos. The variation created follows a fractal scaling law in time, space, whether a node is connected or not, combinatorics, etc. Is there wisdom in nature? Can nature discover which methods work best? A quantum random walk through state space in a rich environment will yield value, but how is this value measured? This would be something like pleasure seeking. This is a feedback mechanism, a process that could, over time, become sentient. The organism becomes better and better at expression or testing and experiencing or measuring value in the environment. Intimate disclosure is shared logic, reasoning along with an emotional component. Shared experience is basically physical or sensory input, although it is still quite complex. Sex would be a highly energetic combination of shared experience and intimate disclosure. The brain could be a fractal antenna reading the fields. The brain is plastic because it is looking for value in the field. This is a geometry of information. To read the field, the brain must change its geometry, and if value is detected, the process continues. The same way that a root from a tree grows into an area where nutrients are located. The human is part of a complex system that is seeking value, and the forces in play are always balancing these dynamic connections with sophistication as an important feature. What we believe is shaped by these dynamic connections, and the value is a form of currency in the system. Sophistication creates more value over a broad range of agents, and unsophisticated behavior concentrates a smaller amount of value over a narrower range of agents, such as manipulation or apathy. The energetic potential in the system exists in a hierarchy, with the logic structure or reasoning capability having less potential than the emotional component. I believe that this hierarchy extends into the spiritual realm, with the greatest potential being spiritual qualities such as love. So we see a process extending into space and time, with the greatest value located in the middle or peak of the bell curve, and the hive mind is near the extreme end of the curve with little value remaining. The individual is nothing without the group, and the group is nothing without diversity. Self-organization is always seeking to balance the forces involved, which can be extreme at times. What we value matters, and we become what we are connected to. When we belong, we believe, and when we separate, we doubt. Sophistication is maximizing value. Love is maximizing value for others, and manipulation is maximizing value for self. Apathy and complacence are among the least sophisticated qualities. Additional info. The basics of information geometry. Brain dynamics through spectral-structural neuronal networks. a new class of frequency-fractal computing. Wisdom is more concerned with the health of the system than the destruction of the misguided agents. If everything is information, then the difference between living and non-living things is the quality of the information. Life exists in a stream of energy, and from this, extracts order. It is not possible to understand nonsense. The imagination uses nonsense to construct possibilities, and from this process a range of associations connects the possible to the impossible. If our material reality is some form of interface, and if there is another underlying geometry involved, how would we notice it? I think levels of description and information theory or something along those lines would be useful. Entanglement suggests some form of awareness. With humans, we are in a sense entangled by intimate disclosure and shared experience. The information becomes shared, to some degree of resolution. Complexity is the blending of perfect symmetry and pure randomness. This is where the arrow of time lies. I think these two extremes are elusive ideals. Why would Susskind say that the universe looks like a Rube Goldberg machine? Either the rabbit hole is very deep or the laws of nature have been broken. There is a principle of organization at work in the cosmos that reverses the arrow of time. Order out of chaos. The esoteric knowledge of the mystics. Life does this, but it appears that the distinction between living and non-living things is blurred. Consensus reality and the intentional field. Our influence on the field is limited by our fine hair-like connections to the field. The presence of an event horizon suggests that the information is at maximum compression. If the information is shared or untangled, then whatever is inside of the horizon is in more than one place. Fractal scaling of the event horizon. It is fractals all the way down. Nature is lazy, it likes to copy.